Ladies and gentlemen, MJZ Comics back at you for another video, and today we are going to talk about Namor the Sub-Mariner.
Hey, before we get started, make sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos.
So to start with, we are going to pull out a Sub-Mariner #1 from 1968. This is a Silver Age book and is the first Sub-Mariner solo title.
Namor debuted in Marvel Mystery Comics #1, which was from 1939, so the Golden Age. It was actually from a line of comics called Timely Comics, which was the predecessor to Marvel back in the 1930s and 40s. They had two other giant heroes at that time. One was Captain America, and the other one was the Human Torch. So Namor the Sub-Mariner actually precedes DC's Aquaman. It first appeared in a comic called More Fun Comics #73 in 1941. So if you remember, Namor actually appeared in 1939. So he's often confused. They have a very similar appearance, power base, and history. Although something unique about Namor the Sub-Mariner, he has the mutant ability to fly. And he's often considered Marvel Comics' first mutant in publication.
You know, that's a little known fact. I think a lot of just general fans think that they're going to think when this movie comes out that the Submariner was a copy off of Aquaman, when in fact, it's the other way around.
Namor the Sub-Mariner has been confirmed is going to be portrayed by the actor Tenoch Huerta. So everyone's very excited about this character coming to the MCU.
So the next book here we will show you is Fantastic Four #4, the first Silver Age appearance of the Submariner. And as you can see, this copy is a green label, 3.5 qualified. The reason this was tagged qualified is it has a page 12 married and taped backwards to page 13. We chose to pick up this book. This was at the time when we did not have a copy of FF4, and we just wanted to get our hands on it, like a starter copy. We bought it a few years back before it kind of got popular. Presents real well. It's not restored. When you go to sell these, they may be a little bit harder to sell.
There is only about 1,343 unrestored, still blue label CGC copies. This book in any grade, in any condition, is extremely hard to find.
The green label on this type of book doesn't bother me as much. As we said earlier, it might be a little bit harder to sell when you try to get rid of it. You're going to have to ask a lower price than a blue label 3.5. And I think typically what a lot of the dealers will tell you is you can get anywhere from half to 2/3 of what the blue label at that grade is going to get. Currently in 2022, Matt, these two books are very expensive, and you know, we're fortunate we got into these a while back before they went up so high. Let's mention a couple, a few books that you might be able to get into a little bit cheaper if you're fans of the Submariner. And the first book is Fantastic Four #6, which is the second appearance of Submariner, the second appearance of Doctor Doom, and the first Marvel villain team up. I think it's a cool book.
If you can't get the issue #4, I mean, I don't think anyone would be disappointed with issue #6.
No. CGC has a total of 1,400 copies on the census, and currently you can pick up a 3.0 blue label for around $1,300 on Fantastic Four 6. All right, the next book we're going to look at is X-Men 6, which is it's a really cool book. It's the first crossover, obviously, of the Submariner into the X-Men. Namor is confirmed as a mutant. There are 1,456 copies of this on the CGC census. The last sale of a CGC 1.8 bid out at $180, so affordable at low grades. The next book we're going to talk about is Iron Man and Submariner 1. Early 1960s Iron Man and Submariner cover shows the team up between the two superheroes. It actually predates our Submariner #1. You can get a CGC 8.5 for around $700 on that book. And lastly, for a new modern 90s Submariner, there's a Submariner series. I think it's the 6th solo series of the Submariner, came out in 1990. It's labeled Namor the Submariner #1. There are less than 209.8s of this book, and currently you can pick this up for under $200. A nice pickup at 9.8 level with a great character. Next here, Matt's got a couple of our I guess we could call them our vaulted books that we are saving. We're keeping them as investment books.
So here we have a copy of Fantastic Four, number 4. This one is in a CGC 7.0 with white pages. Now this book about a few years ago, around 2019, was selling for about $5,000 to $6,000. Most recently here in 2022, it's been selling for around the $10,000 to $11,000 mark. But I've noticed the CGC 5.5 this year sold for around $8,000. It seems like the lower grades, the mid grades, those prices have starting to rise, and the higher grades have yet to follow. I think that has more to do that the mid to lower grades are more affordable, and just the higher grades with the market right now haven't reflected, the increased popularity. Obviously, everyone's really excited for him showing up in the Black Panther movie, so this book has been heating up as of late.
Honestly, it's a pricey book, but I think it's still undervalued for what it is.
You don't see it almost ever in your local comic book store, and you usually don't see too many copies at comic conventions. The highest grade is a 9.6, so no 9.8 with this book, but 6 copies of a 9.6. Last 9.6 sale was $81,000 in 2019.
Wow.
If that was to come to market in 2022, who knows what it would sell for.
6 figures all day. And now, the creme de la creme, the finale, the reason we did this video. Matt is about to pull out a surprise for all of you.
So here we have a copy of Sub-Mariner number 1 in a CGC 9.8 with white pages. Now this is a special book. Not only is it a CGC 9.8, it is part of the Western Pen pedigree. So on the
Mind-blowing.
On the CGC census, there are only 72 copies in a 9.8. Around 2019, this particular grade, 9.8, was selling for around $4,500 to $6,200. And most recently, in 2022, there has been 2 sales that have been over $19,000. Recently at C2E2, a guy had a copy of this book in a 9.8. He was asking $20,000 for it. Now, keep in mind, those were CGC 9.8s, but they did not have the pedigree designation. So who knows what this book would go for? I would say anywhere maybe $22,000 to $25,000. And for those of you who don't know, CGC will denote a pedigree label on their books, meaning that it comes from an original collector, usually several, high volume of high quality, high grade books. So CGC does not designate pedigrees that frequently. I believe there is maybe 60 to 70 pedigrees in total. So very rare to have. So this definitely gives this book in a high grade a little something special from the regular 9.8.
Yeah, beautiful book. I mean, this book is special. You're not going to see this that often in a 9.8 grade. I mean, this is a true investment book, Matt, and I'm sure you're planning on hanging on to this baby for a while.
Yeah, this is a long-term hold for MJZ Comics. This is a grail book, something not easy to replace, and it's been a really good purchase for us.
And Matt, I remember when we were talking about this book, it was before it really got expensive, because we kept looking at the Iron Man 1, the Captain America 100, and we said, look how expensive these books are in the 9.8. Don't you think the Submariner is going to do the same thing? We took a chance at the time, and I believe it's paid off.
Please let us know in the comments below if you think we should send this in and get it recased, as CGC is now offering a black and gold label for their pedigree books.
Thanks for watching, and check us out on Instagram.